Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna chop up my quarter panels. I already did it a little bit, but I need to chop some more because it is chopping up my tires. So ready? Just kidding, we're not gonna use this. Cut up the fenders. When I first got this car, the fenders were back here. The quarter panel was all pretty rusted up, and you can kind of see some poking out through there. So I'm just gonna clean it up, paint it, and then, well, weld it, then paint it so it doesn't rust again. Get some more preventative. Also, the kind of can see on there, but the tire kind of scrapes on it just a tiny bit when I'm driving a little bit too rough, too hard. And definitely once I get some coilovers installed on here, if I end up lowering it, because I'm kind of in between lowering and raising it, but if I lower it, I definitely need to cut some more of the fender off so I don't scrape as hard. But first things first, you gotta get the flare off and then we'll get to the fender. So a few different ways to put on fender flares. I chose to do self-tapping screws. So this is definitely the quickest and the easiest way. You can rivet them in, but then if you want to take them off like I'm about to do, it's very hard. Or you can rivet in some threads. So drill a hole and rivet in some threads, and then you screw in a nice little screw. I also put double-sided tape on here, so you can tell. To help hold it on, which kind of worked. At the same time, it kind of, you can tell that I went off-roading a little bit. And I live on a dirt road, so there's dirt everywhere. So the tape doesn't stick that well anymore. So the first time I do this, I literally just like did it as quick as I could, cut the rust off, and I didn't want water to backtrack up in there. I didn't have a welder at the time. I still don't, but my little brother has one now, so I'm just gonna borrow his. So I just filled it up with this material that helps with, it's like water prevention, and it's like insulation type thing, filling up gaps in your house. So it's apparently worked pretty well because I don't see a lot more rust up in here a little bit, but that's where the tire kept hitting, right there. You can see the tire's pretty gouged up. Can be kind of sharp, so you got to be careful not to cut yourself. Got this other side all chopped up and kind of mocked up a little bit. Looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit better than the other side. Hence, you know, being the second time I've done it. Well, one at the fourth. But I don't know. I cut myself, not with the grinder, but on some metal back here somewhere, and took a look at it, and it was pretty darn rusty. So I might be dying from tetanus now. So if you see me working on the car and I just tensed up, I got them tetanus. It's got me. That lockjaw. Watch out. So what I was gonna say is gloves might be a good idea. Just be careful, take your time. I was in a rush, that's why I kind of just grabbed something and it just cut me. I didn't even notice it cut me until I was just dripping blood everywhere, so be careful. All right, got it to my dad's and prepping it for welding. So we just gotta grind it down, get it nice and shiny to be able to actually weld it together. So grind some of this up here, some of this down here, and it'll be ready for welds, so stay tuned. All prepped and ready to weld. Just gonna throw a couple spot welds here and there on here, and then seal it up with some silicone, paint it all so it stops, so it doesn't rust again. This part I didn't have enough material, so I had to leave the foam in there, but oh, that gives me a lot more room. Shouldn't scrape anymore. It's probably another part that scraped a lot. And then I could probably drop it a little bit. I don't have too much clearance here. I have some clearance. I can drop it a couple more inch, probably an inch, and we should be good. All right, time to weld. I had to disconnect the battery so it doesn't fry your ECU apparently. I'm just learning this. Got a bucket of water in case we catch something on fire. Something over the tire, because I was too lazy to take it off. These welds are gonna be covered so they don't have to be pretty. Plus, we're just learning to weld, so we're just doing little spot welds, trying not to catch a car on fire, and all will be good. Got the flare back on. I'm kind of using it as a guide so I don't overspray, because anything under here doesn't matter if it gets sprayed. So I'll give a nice little paint. That way we don't get rusted out again. So gotta cover up your job. All this hard work that you do, you don't cover it up, it's all pointless because it's just gonna rust again. Thank you for sticking through to the end of the video. We're all done cutting today, and it's kind of got a little primer paint on it a little bit. I normally would do a lot better paint job there, but being that my next plan is to actually paint the entire car, clearly the bumper is lacking quite a bit of paint. So I want to paint the whole car. So I didn't really do the best job there. I'll repaint it and paint over it very soon. So hopefully by the end of the week, maybe next week, I could actually start painting the entire car. It's a big process, so I need a couple days off of work and a couple days at home. So my wife is due any minute, so it depends. If the baby's born, it's gonna be put on hold. If the baby's not born yet, we're gonna have a painted car. So anyways, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. You should have already been subscribed though. But anyways, catch you next time.